to the entertainment Talking Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video as more and more news is starting to come out about the New York Giants and their projected coaching staff under rookie head coach Joe Judge. And before I get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to Don Giovanni, who's in my Discord. He always gives me great ideas for videos, and he was the one who actually led me on to the news about the New York Giants supposedly deciding to stay on with special teams coordinator Tom Mcgaughey, who I think it's actually a really good decision. He's done a great job with the New York Giants. I'll speak more on that in this video. I'm also going to talk about the New York Giants supposedly having interest in potentially bringing on Freddie Kitchens. Now, I don't know the role that they would bring him on in. He's had a variety of roles, and I'm going to get into his whole resume throughout his career, but he's been a running backs coach. He's been a tight end coach for a lot of his career. He's been a quarterback coach. He's been an offensive coordinator, and, of course, he's been a head coach with the Cleveland Browns, where he failed miserably this year in his rookie season as a head coach. But the reason he got that job was because he did such a great job his first year with the Browns as an OC and coordinator with them. So that's what we're looking at here. We're not looking at a head coach. I see Twitter is flipping out about Freddie Kitchens. I don't mind it if they bring him in, but I'll talk more about him in a second. First, I want to talk about special teams. Now, obviously, Joe Judge was brought in here as known to be a special teams guy, right? That's his strength. So he should have an eye for talent in terms of coaching at that position. And Thomas Mcgaughey came in here. The special teams was a mess in 2018. This guy's an 18-year history of being a strong special teams coordinator. And the one good thing you could say about the Giants this year, it is certainly that. They did have very strong special teams. And this offseason, it seemed as if they made it a point to improve that, right? They bring in Cody Core, who was, I think, arguably the most underrated acquisition by the Giants this year. You go back and look at any of the streams that Bad Dog and myself did this year, we mentioned Cody Core every stream. The guy was terrific in punt coverage, and Riley Dixon should have made the Pro Bowl. That's how good he was. Of course, he got way too much practice because the offense couldn't move the ball. We had way too many 3-and-outs, but our special teams outside of Rosas, who you can't really get on the special teams coordinator for having a bad field goal kicker, who hopefully he improves, or maybe he will be replaced this year. We'll have to wait and see. But outside of that, the special teams was top-notch. The special teams put us in a ton of situations where if the defense was halfway decent, we would have been able to flip the field and get good field position. So I thought they did a great job there. If I remember correctly, I think they had a punt block for a touchdown, I think, against the Patriots as well. They did a great job, special teams this year. That was by far the strongest point for the New York Giants. And by all accounts, Thomas Mcgaughey will stay on with the New York Giants. So that is one guy who looks to be keeping his job. We don't know yet about James Betcher. Obviously, I think he's going to be replaced. It's just a matter of who is going to replace him. I'm sure we'll get news on that, maybe even today in the press conference. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to pull up some quotes about the special teams coordinator, and then I'll pull up some quotes about Kitchens, and we'll talk further about that. But let's jump into some of the quotes and the tweet about Thomas Mcgaughey, the special teams coordinator for the New York Giants. Here is the tweet from Alex Marvez that was later posted by GiantsWire.com. Source tells SiriusXM NFL that new Giants head coach Joe Judge is keeping Thomas Mcgaughey as New York special teams coordinator. So there you go. And you know what? And I went a little further into detail into the article, and they talked about what he did for this team and why I think it's a good decision. Thomas Mcgaughey took over a struggling special teams unit on the Giants back in 2018 and has transformed them into one of the league's best since his arrival. Judge served as the special teams coordinator for the Patriots over the past 5 years and may consider retaining Mcgaughey, who has done a great job with the Giants in the last 2 seasons. Of course, this was written before the news came out today. Well, it would be understandable if Judge chooses to bring in his own guy. Mcgaughey has 18 years of special teams experience and has earned the right to stay given his track record. And I agree with that. You know, a lot of people were a little nervous because he did such a great job. A lot of people didn't want to see him go, and they thought with a new head coach, he may move on from Mcgaughey, and it does not appear to be the case. And in my opinion, this is already a scenario where Joe Judge is making a wise decision. And it's a huge compliment to Mcgaughey because a lot of times when you bring in a new head coach, he is going to get a completely new staff. And especially being that Joe Judge specializes in what Thomas Mcgaughey is responsible for, it says a lot about the job that he has done for the New York Giants and the job he's done throughout his career. Like I said, he has 18 years experience in that role. So really good stuff there. I do like that they're keeping him on. Now, we're going to get into Freddie Kitchens, who a lot of people are going crazy about on Twitter. Now, of course, Freddie Kitchens this year had very high expectations. He was a rookie head coach for the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns go out, they get Odell Beckham. They bring in Kareem Hunt. They bring in all these guys. And a lot of people think that this team is headed to the playoffs. They're a potential Super Bowl contender. And I was of the belief, pump the brakes. This team still doesn't have any chemistry together. There's a lot of combustible guys in that locker room. You have a rookie head coach. I thought the expectations were set way too high for the Cleveland Browns, especially considering they had a rookie head coach. And Kitchens did not do a good job, right? All Cleveland Browns fans said that they didn't like him as the head coach. A lot of people didn't agree with the hire from the start. But we're not judging this guy based on his ability to be a head coach. And as a matter of fact, this is probably a very good potential hire because you don't have to worry about him if he's doing well, leaving and getting a head coaching job, at least for a few years, being that he failed miserably in his first opportunity. He kind of has to prove himself again. He has a lot of college experience as well as a lot of NFL experience. And the link here between Judge and Kitchens is that they both coached at Mississippi State together, I think in 2004 and 2005. So Judge is already looking to guys that he's familiar with to bring in to be a part of his coaching staff with the New York Giants. And, you got to like hearing that. I do like that they're giving Judge the say. This is a clear Judge decision. It's not like Giants fans are going to go crazy about bringing in Freddie Kitchens, who was killed by the media all season for his job that he did with the Cleveland Browns. But the main reason, I think a lot of people aren't looking at that are going crazy about this, the main reason Freddie Kitchens got the head coaching gig with the Cleveland Browns is the job he did before and the job he did with Baker Mayfield. He was credited with that largely. With the job that Mayfield did with the Cleveland Browns in his rookie year. He broke the rookie touchdown record, had 27 touchdowns, and he had a great rookie season. Of course, he regressed this year, and maybe some of that has to do with Kitchens. Maybe some of that has to do with the offensive coordinator. But regardless, this guy has a long laundry list of history as being an offensive mind throughout his entire career. Tight ends coach, running back coach, quarterback coach, offensive coordinator. I'm going to pull it up for you guys in a second. But first, here is the tweet by NFL Update, who, by the way, do a great job on Twitter. I get a lot of my tweets from them. So if you are a guy who looks for breaking news on Twitter, go follow them. New Giants head coach Joe Judge is expected to talk to former Browns head coach Freddie Kitchens about a position on his staff, per Jordan Rannon. They work together at Mississippi State. So there, of course, like I said, is the connection. And then what I wanted to do was pull up Kitchens' resume and why he's potentially going to be considered for a role with the Giants. Like I said, we don't know what it is. We don't know if it's quarterback coach, running back coach, offensive coordinator. It could be any of those. But here it is. Glenville State, small school there, running back coach, tight end coach. So that's where he got his beginnings. LSU was a graduate assistant, then went to North Texas from 01 to 03. For 3 years was the running backs coach there. 2004, he goes to Mississippi State as the tight ends coach. Then he goes back to Mississippi State in 05 as a running backs coach. And Dallas Cowboys in 06 as a tight ends coach. And Jason Witten, my guess, is probably had a big year that year. I didn't look at the numbers, but that was Romo's second year in the league, and maybe that's why he thrived and got the job with the Arizona Cardinals for 5 years as their tight ends coach. And he stayed there for a long time. He stayed with the Cardinals for a really long time, for 10 years, because then he got promoted to the quarterbacks coach from 2013 until 2016. He then went back to the running backs coach with Arizona in 2017. And I don't remember if it was 17 or 16 where David Johnson had that big breakout season. Of course, he got injured. That might have been 17. I'm not sure. But maybe that was the breakout year. But either way, he then got promoted to the Cleveland Browns in 2018 as an associate head coach and running backs coach, along with the offensive coordinator in 2018 after, I guess, they made some changes with Hugh Jackson. And like I said, he was widely credited with the success that Mayfield had after he came in Week 3 against the New York Jets, which is why he got promoted to the head coach this year, where he obviously failed and why he's available on the open market. So, yeah, I mean, my thoughts when it comes to both of these guys. First off, I'm fully on board with the special teams coordinator. I think that's a great decision to bring back Tom Mcgaughey. Freddie Kitchens, I get why people might be upset or why they might be nervous about bringing a guy like that on, but Freddie Kitchens isn't known to be a bad coordinator. He was a good coordinator. That's why he got the job as the head coach. And like I said, he has a lot of experience in different positions. You see it there on the resume: running back coach, tight end coach, quarterback coach. So he could be brought in for a variety of different reasons with the New York Giants. We'll have to wait and see what role they're potentially looking to give him. And obviously the connection with Mississippi State is going to play a big factor. The other thing that I keep saying that I like, the Giants are clearly giving Joe Judge a lot of say in the personnel decisions, which is important for a young coach to feel comfortable to bring in the guys that he wants. This is a guy he's worked with. It's a guy he's had success with in the past, and it's a guy he clearly has a lot of respect for. Joe Judge is very intelligent. I'm sure he sees something in Freddie Kitchens that he likes. The fact that Freddie Kitchens has a lot of NFL experience around the league is also a big plus for me. So we'll see what the New York Giants decide to do, but I would not be against Freddie Kitchens at all. And, of course, I like the fact that they brought back the special teams coach. But there's my thoughts, guys. And as always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.